Hey, this is Dan Creed from Bastard.
Co-director Patrick Robert Young.
And co-director Paul Robinson.
And you're listening to Without Your Head.
Welcome to the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Rebekah Kennedy. She's Betty of Bastard, which is out right now. So, well, listen to this first, and then go and get it. Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Actually, I got a cold, but that doesn't sound very good
Other
on the show.
than that.
Yeah, I'm doing better now.
That's good.
Yeah. Now, I said Bastard's out right now. It's on video demand, Amazon streaming, select theaters. So there's a lot of places you can get it. And I wanted to see it on the big screen, but I was sick and I missed it. But I know that you got to see some of the screenings. So how did they go?
Really well. Yeah, I went Saturday night, which was our premiere night, and it was sold out, which was awesome. The crowd really seemed to love it. They laughed, they cringed. A lot of people covered their faces at certain points, so it was great to see that. And then we actually went back on Tuesday and saw both afternoon and evening. And the afternoon was, about half full, and the evening was almost full. So it went really well. Everyone seems to love it so far, so hopefully that'll continue.
Mm-hmm. Now, was that your first chance seeing the finished film with people, or had you seen it previously?
I had seen a couple months back in April. We had a screening for the cast and crew and kind of a private thing event, and that was actually kind of the unrated version. So it was a little bit more gory than the version that's out. So I kind of had an idea of what it was going to be like. The music wasn't done and everything wasn't completely finished, but I knew that at that point it was going to be really good. So it was fun to see it on the big screen for real.
So there's two things there. Yeah, you said there's an unrated version. So I think now people listening who like the movie are looking forward now probably to a DVD release because they can get the unrated one.
Yeah, hopefully they'll maybe release that as well. So I know a lot of people like that kind of stuff, and especially if you want more gore, there's more that we had to cut. So
yeah,
hopefully.
And there's quite a bit in the movie anyway.
Yeah, there is, but it was even more. So
yeah, And you mentioned the music, and I really think the score is great. So once you saw it with everything edited, with the movie edited and the score added in, what were your thoughts on the movie overall?
I thought they did such a great job. The score, Kyle is our composer, and he just did such a fantastic job with the music and the opening and the ending, and then just the music in between and the little things he put in here and there. He did such a great job, and I thought the finished film they did an amazing job. The acting, I mean, not talking about myself, of course, but everyone else, the acting was great, and the special effects, they did such a great job. And everything just really, really came together and has a lot of the editing. I think Will was our editor, and he made really smart choices. And I think that the film really, really is awesome. I'm a bit biased, of course. But.
Well, I saw it too, and I honestly see a lot of movies doing the show, obviously, but this one is definitely one of the standout ones of the year. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of things about it. I think the score, enhances the movie. The effects obviously are very cool, but the story, the dialogue is great. And then it's paced well because it starts out. I won't give too much of the way of the movie, but it's kind of I don't want to say a comedy, but it's kind of lighthearted. But it gets very dark and crazy towards the end of the film.
Right, I think Patrick Robert Young was our writer and also one of our directors, but he wrote the script, and I think he wrote such a smart, brilliant script. And there's such, little gems in there, with that that I, reading it for the first time didn't even pick up, and took me a couple times. I'm like, oh yeah, that and that. And I think he did a really nice balance of some lighthearted, funny moments mixed in with, obviously the intense, serious. And I think the cast did a really good job of bringing those moments to life as well. And, when we're filming, it's not funny when you're filming.
Right.
And so, you don't really know what's going to work and what won't. So it was fun to see it come to life.
I always think, not that I wouldn't consider this a horror comedy, but in a horror comedy film, if you do if the actress played up as comedy, it really kills the vibe of the film.
Yes, I agree. You have to play it straight, and everyone did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, it's definitely not a spoof
No.
by any means. It's not, it's not a laugh the whole way, but there are some really nice, funny moments in there that kind of break up the tension and the intensity of horror films.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I've been trying to get hashtag purple dildo trending.
I know the directors would absolutely love that, for sure.
Uh-huh.
That's such a great, it kind of is its own character, sort of.
Yeah. It makes
I'm surprised,
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised not more people are talking about that.
I don't know what it says about me, but that was one of the things that stuck out to me when I saw it the first time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully it comes back in the next one.
There you go.
Somewhere in there.
Bastard Reborn,
Yeah.
Return of the Purple Dildo. That'll be the tagline.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in the movie?
I actually just auditioned. I went in and auditioned, and then they brought me in for a callback, and then they offered me the part. So I didn't know any of them going in. I knew a lot of them knew each other. A lot of them went to school together or knew someone on the production in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of the few that kind of didn't know anyone and just came on that way. So I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I really am pleased with how it turned out, and working with everyone was awesome. The cast and crew were just incredible. They're just amazing people, and I'm excited that more people are going to get to see their work and see what they can do, especially now that the movie's out.
The being someone who didn't know them previously, do you think that in a way was good for the role of Betty, because you are you're more the quietest one in the film, and kind of stay yourself?
Yeah, it's interesting because of course they were super nice and super
Mm-hmm.
welcoming, but at the beginning there is that rapport that a lot of if you work together they have, and you're kind of trying to fit in and try to figure out where you fit into this, and that was actually really great for the film, because that is Betty. She's trying the whole film. She's trying to figure out, where she fits into this and how she is perceived by other people, and that was that kind of how it was at first. On set, you're trying to figure out how the rhythm is and how everyone works, and where you're the square peg trying to fit in. So
Mm-hmm.
that very much is Betty. So it was a nice art imitating life kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you said, when you're filming the movie, a lot of things in the script that you might not have picked up on while you're reading it, then, you get to see it while you're filming it. When you first read the script, what did you think of it?
I loved it. I loved it when I first read it. I loved Betty. I loved the character. I thought she was so interesting, and has this kind of interesting arc in the movie where she gets to kind of transform, and she's trying to figure out life and how it works, and she's a young teenage girl, and that's really difficult on its own. And so I thought she would be someone really, really fun to bring to life, and I thought that I thought the script was great. Mm-hmm. And it had very funny moments in the script, and then obviously it gets very intense and very serious, and I thought it would be so much fun to bring it to life. I thought he did a really good job with the script, and especially slasher films kind of have this reputation of not really developing the characters very much. It's kind of just like you see them and then they get killed. Mm-hmm. And so I love the fact that, we meet each one and we kind of get to know them a bit, and we see their backstory and kind of know where they're coming from. So that hopefully, once people start dying, you feel you're either rooting, against it or for it or whatever. You feel something for them.
Yeah, well, that makes it much more interesting if you're, emotionally invested in the characters and they die, as opposed to, like you said, like a traditional slasher where it's just kind of random teenagers and they're getting offed.
Right, and you don't care about anyone. So hopefully, in this, you care about someone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree. And so I watch it on video demand, and so you saw, obviously, when you see it at a screening, and the people can tell you right away what they thought of it. What's the reaction been like for people like online?
So far, everyone's been really positive. It's been really awesome feedback. People are loving it. People are like, they're like, oh, that was like one guy tweeted and was like, that was pure evil. It was awesome. So it seems like people are really liking it so far. I hope, we've had two reviews come out so far, and both were super positive and loved the film. And so we're looking forward to more reviews, and hopefully more people, continue to like it. But yeah, the online response has been great. People have been, oh, that was so gross. It was so awesome. It's what you want to hear. So hopefully that will continue.
Yeah. Did you, when you signed up for the movie, did you know that it was going to be part of the 8 Films to Die For, or did that come later?
Yeah, that came later. When I signed on, when we did the movie, it was just an independent, and we didn't really know. At least I didn't know where it was going to go. And I had high hopes for the film, just being on set and seeing some of the footage and being with the actors. I was like, oh, this is to be something actually really special. So when they announced that it was going to be, or they told us it was going to be part of the film, I thought it was really exciting because, now more people are going to get to see it than just if they went to DVD or if it didn't get released at all. So I'm really, really thrilled that it is a part of the film. That's, a really cool tradition they're bringing back, and it's kind of a cool fan club thing to be involved in that. They've made some really cool films over the years. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great idea in general. Kind of a traveling film festival.
Right. And people can see it all over the U.S., or they can rent it, or they can buy it, or whatever. I don't. I know the DVD comes out at the end of the month, the 27th. Actually, not that far from now.
Yeah.
Feels like it is, but it's not. I'm not sure exactly how they're doing it, but it's figuring a box set or whatnot. But people will be able to buy it pretty soon, which is exciting.
Yeah, I know the previous ones they had them, where you could get them individually or as the box set with all 8.
Yeah.
So I assume it's probably the same way, but I really have no idea either. Now, are you a horror movie fan in general?
Yeah, I've always loved horror movies. When I was actually in 6th grade, I went to a birthday party, an 11-year-old birthday party, and we went to the video store to rent, movies back for the end of the night. And I convinced them to rent it.
No, Stephen King?
And I think I scarred most of them for life. My friend still was like, I hate clowns now, thank you. So yeah, I've always been a huge horror fan. And so it's been fun to this isn't my first horror film, but this is my first slasher. It's been fun to get to kind of explore the different horror genres within horror and get to kind of bring those to life after loving them.
Mm-hmm. What were some of your favorite horror movies, before you got into acting?
So old school would be like The Shining, The Exorcist. Those are just awesome. I also really loved The Sixth Sense, even though it's not necessarily a traditional horror film. I thought it was such a brilliant film. The acting is so great, and M. Night Shyamalan wrote a brilliant script and a great twist, and definitely a creepy movie. And then like random films like The Others. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yep.
Yeah, such a great film with another, kind of great twist. And so, yeah, there's a few.
Yeah. Any like current ones besides Bastard, of course.
What have I seen recently? I really liked the Insidious movie.
Which one was that?
I haven't seen the Poltergeist remake. I haven't seen the remake of that yet.
I actually thought it was good.
Sorry, what?
I actually thought the Poltergeist remake was good. I know a lot of people were down on it, but I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to checking it out now that it's Halloween time. I thought It Follows was really interesting. Those are some of the newer ones that come out.
Yeah. Now, 'cause we had him on the show just a couple weeks ago, Pal Robinson and Patrick Robert Young. And what's it like to work with them as directors and to work with co-directors? Is that different than like a traditional, one director?
Yeah, it can be. It can be different because sometimes you get, if you have 2 directors, sometimes you have 2 different visions of what people want or what people see in the character or the scene. And they were really great in that they both agreed what they wanted. I never got conflicting direction from the 2 of them. I always knew exactly what they wanted. It wasn't like, oh, you do this, no, do this. And I was like, what? No, it was always, they always had the same vision, which was awesome. And working with them was just great. They are such actors, directors. They knew exactly, sometimes you might do multiple takes and it's, the end of a 12-hour day and you're tired and, people that haven't seen the movie, a lot of stuff can be very emotional and you're trying to stay in that space. And they were really great about getting me back there if I needed help and going with me to like really dark places. And I remember one time Pal and I just sat in a dark bathroom and we didn't say anything. We just sat on the floor and together and we just sat there. And it's like things like that really stick out to me that make great directors that understand actors and that we aren't robots and that we need, that we sometimes need something. Yeah, they were really, really awesome to work with.
Mm-hmm. Along those lines, what are some of the hardest scenes for you to shoot? Would they, is it like the gore stuff or would it be like the emotional scenes?
Probably the emotion is probably harder.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep everything going, for each take and to feel like it's the first time that you're seeing something or, experiencing something, that can be, challenging for sure. Kind of the blood, kind of the nice element because it kind of adds to it and you kind of feel like you're there. And when we shot the very last scene in the bathroom, you've seen it,
Mm-hmm.
with it very cold that night, very, very cold. And so it kind of helps, get into character because you're feeling everything like kind of the character is feeling. So yeah, I would definitely say the emotional stuff more difficult just to keep it fresh,
mm-hmm.
And feel like it's the first time you're seeing everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you watch a movie that you've been in, do you see it? Can you watch it like as a movie, or do you really see it as part of experience, being there and filming it?
Yeah, the first time it's hard to watch it as a whole. You're
Mm-hmm.
kind of watching, yourself and your performance and you're kind of, trying to not critique yourself like, oh, why did I do that or whatever. You're trying not to be that actor that's, critiquing everything. The first time's hard, but then after that, I'm able to watch it and experience it as a whole and appreciate everyone's hard work and really be able to see that, as a whole and not so nitpick my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to be able to get to watch it come together and see how everybody did their part.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil the movie or anything, but do you have any particular favorite scenes in the movie?
Let's see. I like the beginning a lot. Like the beginning scene, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really sets a really nice tone to the rest of the film.
Mm-hmm. It really grabs you, and it's got great dialogue and everything. Mm-hmm.
When you're watching a film, you don't have super long to grab people before people start getting bored.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with horror films, if there's not immediately blood and everything. So I think it's a really nice opening. And then I love their gas station scene. It's a lot of fun. And then there's some scenes I'm in that I like. It's hard to be, look at it from an objective standpoint. But, there's lots of great ones. I think that lots of nuances, people said to things that came through. And,
Yeah, I thought the trailer itself is great because that does there's so many movies out there and that's a trailer that really grabs you. It did for me right away. It's how I wanted to see it, and the beginning of the movie is very similar to the trailer. I think both of them have the same kind of feel and grabs you.
And I think it did a good job with the trailer, like not giving too much away,
mm-hmm.
hopefully, but just enough to want people, make people want to see it without giving away the whole story.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are a lot of, especially current trailers, they'll basically be like the whole movie in 2 minutes.
Right, and then it's like, oh, I don't even need to see the movie, 'cause now I'm good.
Yeah. So I remember a few years ago when the Carrie remake came out, and they basically just showed the entire, and because I was familiar with the story anyway, and you could just, they showed the whole story, and it was like, 2 minutes, just, there it is. It's like, well, I've seen it now.
Yeah, people can, because you don't want to see the end. Even though, especially movies like that, it's hard because if you've seen the original or you've read the book or whatever, you already know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard, you want to have some surprises in a remake, for sure, and that's tough.
Yeah, because they even showed like the blood scene and
Right.
everything. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was too much, giving away too much. Yeah, for sure.
hmm Now, since you've been watching horror movies, I guess since like the sixth grade, or maybe you were watching me before that. But what's your family think of you being in movies like this?
Horror's not. My dad actually really likes it. He watches the Sci-Fi Channel a lot, and we'll just watch, the awesome sci-fi movies. And he likes horror films. My mom's not like a huge horror fan. Like they don't. I mean, they did go and see The Visit the other night, and they really liked that. And they watched The Gift, and I haven't seen that. I know that's kind of not really horror, but that's kind of a thriller. So that she's not necessarily going to sit down and watch like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But they actually really enjoyed the film. They came to town. They live in Texas, where I'm from, and they came into town and went to the premiere with us on Saturday night, and they really enjoyed it. And it was fun watching my mom, cover her eyes, jump, and see their reactions. So they're proud parents, and they just enjoy watching me do my thing, no matter what the genre is, really.
Mm-hmm. Now, again, I don't want to say anything about the movie, but if there is a sequel, would you like to be involved?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know they've got like 3 or 4 movies they've thought of. Maybe one is a prequel and all this different stuff they've talked about. So I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I would definitely love to be worked with them again in any capacity, whether it be a sequel or a different movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, not just because you're here and they were on the show, but I'm really looking forward to seeing more work from them because this was really a standout, especially for their first movie. Or for anybody's movie.
Yeah, for your first movie, it's tough. It's tough to have everything come together, and they did such an amazing job. I'm so, thrilled for them and thrilled for the movie, and definitely blown away by their talent.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you have coming up?
Well, I did a movie last April, or not last, but like 2 months back, I guess. Like, what month is it? Called Let Me Make You a Martyr, that I shot in Oklahoma with Mark Boone Jr. from Sons of Anarchy, and there was Marilyn Manson's in it and some other people.
Oh, nice.
And that should be coming out next year sometime. It's definitely a gritty drama. And then I did another project called Street Level with Mark Boone Jr. again, and David LaBrava from Sons of Anarchy, and Charisma Carpenter's in it, and Danny Trejo, and a bunch of other awesome people. And that's kind of basically about drug addicts and their dealers and the kind of their life on the street. So I expect that will maybe be coming out next year sometime as well. So let's see, that's what's going on right now.
Yeah. So you work with a lot of people from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I got on to Street Level with them, and then the next project. So it's been awesome. They're such great guys and awesome actors, and really fun group to work with.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite shows. And Danny Trejo, I met many times and have done some video projects with. He's just a really, I mean, you might think, oh, maybe he's intimidating because he's been in all these movies, but he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I actually didn't get to meet him on set. Unfortunately, I didn't get to work with him, but I've heard nothing but awesome things, and he's super nice.
Yeah.
I hopefully get to in the future.
Definitely. And did you work at all with Manson on set?
Yeah, I had one day with him, and he's super nice, very down to earth, a little eccentric and nice and funny, very funny. He keeps the cast and the crew laughing the whole time, which is just great when you're filming intense stuff. It's nice to have a laugh in between, and he's really nice, awesome actor, and I'm excited to see him in the film.
Mm-hmm. And it's really cool to see him starting to branch out. He was great in Sons of Anarchy in the final season. Yeah,
and he has a really big part in it. And he plays a hitman, so I'm excited to see how he's brought him to life.
Mm-hmm. Now, I noticed on your Facebook page that some people thought you had a picture up there from Bastard, and some people thought it was like that you actually had your nose broken on set.
Right. Well, yeah. The makeup artist posted it and tagged me in it, and people really thought, yeah, no, it's all fake. I love that people actually thought, they're like, wow, you really go the extra mile for your art. I'm like, no, it's definitely fake.
I would have just played it up and said, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I wouldn't have been too happy about a real broken nose. For sure. And it's funny. Someone else was like,
Well, that's
"Oh,
real.
you look so great. You would have no idea." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be. I would just ran with it, but then maybe in your next film, people would expect that from you. You'd be like, oh yeah, she's got no problem with breaking her nose on set. So.
Right. Yeah. No issues. Just swing at me. We'll see what happens.
Uh-huh. Oh, by the way, what's the best way for people to find you online, not like your home address?
Yeah. Find my house and hang out in front of my house. Yeah, online I'm at Rebekah Kennedy, Rebkah, on Twitter, and then the same for Facebook, and Instagram is Becca BKAHK, because my name was taken, unfortunately, on Instagram. So I had to go with something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a website, RebekahKennedy.com, and yeah, those are the ways. And I'm pretty good about responding back, and I love to hear from people on what they think of the movie. So I hope they'll feel free to tweet me.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. You were great in it. The whole cast was excellent. Great score, great dialogue. You're very welcome. And continued success. And I hope everyone gets to see the movie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope people, if miss it in the theaters, you can, like you said, run it on Amazon or buy it digitally or VOD. I think it's even on Vudu. I think you can even rent it or watch it on YouTube. There's like so many different sites.
Yeah, I think I think it is on YouTube. And I don't think it's, I think it's fairly inexpensive on YouTube.
I don't have any. I had looked to see, but and then the DVD comes out the 27th, and then there's going to be Redbox, and I'm sure Netflix and all of that good stuff. So,
just real quick about all that. How does that help? Do you think independent films, Redbox, online streaming, all these different ways that people could watch movies besides, what a lot of people think of as traditional ways at the theater or buying, the DVD?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's expensive to go to the movies nowadays, especially if you live in LA. And, so if people don't have the money or can't afford to spend the money to see at the theater or just don't want to, I think having it other ways like video on demand or Netflix is, you're paying for Netflix service anyway. I think a lot more people will watch it and get to see your film. And, the horror genre is one of the top rented movies on Redbox and one of the top watched on Netflix. So people are, always looking for horror films. And so it's a really great platform for people to get to see them that maybe, missed it in the theater or didn't even know about it or just don't want some money. They can still see the film and we can still get it out there for people to see. And that's the main thing. You make a film, you just want people to see it.
Yeah, of course. And just see it legally.
Yes, please see it legally. I know, the touring thing is it's crazy. It's very hard to control all that.
Yeah. And I'm always just kind of dumbfounded by people who will actually tweet to the filmmakers or the director or the actor and just say hey, I downloaded your movie off some Pirate Bay or something. And it's like
yeah, but at least lie.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Bought it or rented it.
I have the sense to lie, people. Yeah. That's the public service announcement here. Lie.
Yeah, at least pretend like it's hard. It's hard with all the online stuff now to control all that. Once it's out there, it's like tough.
I just wanted to ask was when we had Powell and Patrick on, they said when you guys are filming something outside during the movie, and you guys actually interrupted a wedding. Do you remember this?
Yeah, they did. I wasn't on set that day, but the very last scene, very, very last scene, I guess, they were doing some screaming, and I guess there was 2 weddings going on in that area. And they both came up to them and were like, we're trying to do a wedding here, and it's like, we're trying to film here. So, it's I can't even imagine, saying your vows and hearing, screaming in the background.
Yeah, I was at a convention once. It was actually a professional wrestling convention, not a horror convention. And someone had booked their wedding the same weekend at the hotel. I felt so bad for them because there's all these people walking around and crazy wrestlers, and here they are trying to have their wedding. It was
Yeah. Well, it's funny because on Saturday night at the premiere at Universal, Patrick does a really great scream, and they got him to do it, and then security came up to see what was going on and told us like we needed to not do that anymore. Because I think they thought people were really dying. So like, no, we're just So it's always good to interrupt people.
Exactly. Well, I had a good time talking to you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you like to film. It really means a lot.
Yeah, I really did love it, and appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll be on again soon.
Yeah, unless you get too big to come back on, but
Oh, no, never.
All right, well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too.
This is Michael Steves, Director of Klinger, and you're listening to Without Your Head.